financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is DDT, death, debt, and taxes, a new form of pesticide.
Good morning, Sunshine. How are you?
Yeah, really, that's a little
Brian, good morning.
Good morning.
Pat?
Good morning.
Scott?
Good morning, good morning.
Okay, let's get at it. Okay, we're talking about the, here's what I want to do. And a lot of it focuses on, I know Pat, you deal with these issues a lot, Brian, you do as well, kind of the quiet issues that arise when someone passes away. These are the ones that, I mean, we've talked a lot about probate, we've talked about those issues and the need for an estate plan and so forth, and I want to go through some of that. But I want to be a little bit more subtle on the issues of what do you do. This isn't a planning case, this is the person has died.
You know, this is
Why are you laughing,
Because
Brian?
I'm just thinking death, debt, and taxes. It's 11 a.m. on Sunday morning, and we're having coffee.
Yeah,
and
let's
this
talk
is
about
the subject matter today.
You know, this is the one that's.
Well, we can run the show at 11 p.m. if you want.
You know,
So it's like
yeah.
Death, and taxes.
There you go.
So this
Okay,
is the
let's-
thing has been popping up more and more and more and more, and it happened last week. Dad died. He took care of all the finances. Mom's still with us. She can't find his passwords for all of his IRAs and all of his
ran into that
financial
with a
accounts.
friend.
And we were asked to do an interview, and they said, how important is to keep your cost basis for your stock certificates? I said it's not important at all, because if you pass away, you get this stuffed up in basis. What you got to keep track of is the passwords, because if you can't get into the account, you can't do IRA distributions, you can't do transfers.
I had
It
a
is
friend of mine,
nightmare.
it took her literally 4 months to finally gain access to all the accounts. And it's the most stressful time in
It
the
is, and
survivor's
they make
life.
you, a lot of times they make you change these passwords over and over and over again. So that's really,
There's more of a problem with that, because we were doing the show, and so my wife starts hounding me over the last 3-4 years of getting the organization of what happens if you die, what do I do? And my pat answer was always, just look in the credenza. Everything was in the
Right,
credenza, all the
right,
insurance
right.
policies, everything else. But finally I sat down and did a detailed memo for her, because and it was as a result of the show, and I realized it was important. And the passwords became the issue.
Oh, yeah.
So I create the whole list of the passwords, and I use a password program with the master password. And then I give her this thing that has everything on it, and I say, explain to her the password situation. You really need to just know the master password. She's happy as can be.
right.
Then we go away on a vacation like 3 months after that. I'm going away, and I'm packing up, and I'm getting all the finances ready. I paid all the bills, and I'm saying, what if someone breaks into the house and finds the letter that I gave her that has the master password?
It's probably Scott's client that he got to jail on that really good deal.
That's right.
Because
I know that guy.
you know where she's keeping the envelope
Right.
is right in the main thing, you know, in the kitchen right there, so she knows right where it is in case
Right.
I'm gone.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm saying, you got to hide that.
Yeah.
You've got to hide that really well, because if someone gets your master password, you're toast.
The best hiding spot, and my wife found it, is the tampon box in the
Not anymore.
bathroom.
You just
No,
let
you
the
can't wait.
cat out-
I'll
just
give
let
you-
the cat out of
There
the
you
box
know,
there.
the guy's still not going in there.
Right.
I'll give you another major problem. You know what most people's passwords are today?
Password.
Their face.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, when you're dead,
That's,
it's in the ground. You can't get into that phone anymore.
Can't
Take
you
a
snap
picture of the car.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
And
but they-
I question facial recognition
So,
anyway.
but this is the next one too, is that, and that there's an investment news report that came out just the other day, is that if the spouse is handling all of the finances and that spouse dies, the remaining spouse can falls apart, just doesn't know how to do anything. You got to start getting these people together.
Integrated in terms of
now.
I would imagine that is, I don't know any of that stuff. My wife takes care of all
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
you know
what
how
to do if
to.
she died.
But you run a business. You know how to pay bills. You know how to figure this stuff out.
I know, but-
There's a lot of currently there's a division in the generations, but the older generations, age 70 or greater, there's still the old school method of doing things where the husband pays the bills and the homemaker wife did the cooking and doesn't have anything to do with pay the bills, and that exists a lot. And when husband dies, wife is completely lost.
Yeah.
So what do you advise?
Well, first thing on the financial planning part of it, let's just use an old stereotype, and it's not really holding true so much anymore, but the husband, he handled all the investments, and he watched the stock market, and he watched it day and day and day and day and day, and dad dies. Now mom comes in and she says, well, it worked for him, I'm going to do it the exact same way. I says, well, are you watching it every day? She goes, I don't even know how to turn on the computer. Well, then you're not doing it the
so how
same
can she
way.
do it? Right.
So you either have to start preparing before you pass away to protect the spouse, or you have to get the spouse more involved now, so she
And
knows
that's the problem,
what the plan is.
Dad really needs to get mom involved in it, and that's probably not consistent with their relationship.
So we did an article not too long ago on dementia-proof your financial accounts. There was a study out of the University of Texas. When you're 60, your financial decision-making ability start dropping about 2% per year. Just normal product of age, and just slowly going down and down.
Suggesting that my
Yes,
How's that working out for you,
I'm
Ken?
10%
He's already
down.
at
Right.
How's that working out for you?
10% down right now?
But at age 80, you
I can't
have
do this.
100% confidence in all decisions you ever made.
Oh.
So you have this big gap
So by
between
80
perception
so
and
by
reality.
80, you're 40%
Yes.
down, and you're 100% confident that you're right.
Yes. And every
So
kid.
you may not have
That's
been
good, I
arrogant
like
when you were 40, but when you're 80, you're a monster.
Yeah, but every kid says, well, that's dad and he's handling. You got to get the power of attorney. You got to get the next generation of helpers to get involved with your situation earlier to make sure that the bills are being paid and that there's no funny stuff going on. You're not overly aggressive in your markets. You got to start looking at that stuff.
Yeah, so I want to kind of run through some of these other issues, but you mentioned the facial recognition on the phone, and I was listening on the radio, or I saw on TV. There's an issue right now with the city of Detroit wants to use facial recognition as a police tool, and I'm wondering, do you need a warrant, or is that a hot issue? Is that going to be something we're seeing about later?
Well, I mean, it depends on, like, you can use your driver's license is usually people's most identification, and whether or not they can use that in other areas, because that actually is your face, too.
So we kind of have to see how that
Yeah.
plays out. All right, let's take a break. We come back, we'll talk about more DDT issues.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Will I outlive my money?
Medicaid is so confusing.
A will, or do I need a trust?
What if mom needs to go in a nursing home?
At Samasco Law, we have the answers to all of these questions. Our attorneys will eliminate the confusion and develop a plan that's right for you. We are dedicated to veterans benefits, assisted living, and nursing home care. Samasco Law can help prepare you for a long future. Call Samasco Law today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
Okay, so we're back at it. All right, so let's stay. We were talking during the break about the dementia issue.
Yeah, so what happens if you get, let's say, an 80-year-old man, the wife's already passed, he has now dementia. How does the family get control of everything that he wants to do? He doesn't even want to go to a nursing home.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want to do anything, and he definitely doesn't want to go and give any passwords up.
So the first thing is, just because he has dementia, you need a medical power of attorney and a financial power of attorney. You need to be competent to do that, which means Dad knows who he is, who his family members are, and knows that he wants to pick his oldest daughter to be in charge. So you don't need to be that competent to sign that paper. If you can get him to sign it, get him to sign it. You have good days and bad days, get him on a good day.
In this case, the dad may not be willing to sign it because he doesn't want to give up control.
Okay,
Right.
so that means you need to start early, right? Because before Dad has dementia, he would sign that in 2 seconds. So if it's already past that line, then you need to go to probate and get a guardian and conservator, and that's what you don't want to do.
And how likely, though, if you are at that point, how likely is a judge going to be to grant that guardianship and conservatorship when Dad's sitting there saying, I don't want it, but he doesn't recognize, I don't know who those people are.
Dad also may hire an attorney.
Well, see, okay,
Yeah.
so in that
situation.
process, again, you're in this transition period between healthy and sick, right? So if Dad's healthy, of course he'll sign the power of attorney. So get him to sign it while he's healthy. If he's past that line and the doctors say that he's incompetent and he's paranoid and he's delusional, he doesn't know who his family members are, the judge is going to say, I'm going to give you the guardian.
You know, you mentioned hiring an attorney for that. I deal with so many clients, not just in criminal work, that want to do things on their own because they want to save a little money on with hiring an attorney. It costs you so much more money in the end by not doing
that old transmission commercial, pay me now or pay me later. Yeah, I mean, it's critical.
But especially when you're dealing with family issues like that, it's all emotional. You have family members that might be fighting against each other too.
No, that never happened.
You really got to have an attorney.
Particularly in estate planning and everything. The biggest one is doing the estate plan before anyone the signing the powers of attorney, the healthcare power of attorney, putting the things in the trust. An estate plan is not expensive in contrast to the cost of not doing an estate plan when you have a fight arising from it. It's a 1/100th of the expense.
So let me talk about that. With that same dad, if he went and the kids asked him to sign papers, Dad will never sign anything then. He comes in and sees me, he'll sign. Because it's the way you explain it to him. So if you have the right bedside manner, you have the right lawyer who's been through it a million times on both sides of the table, 99% of the time it's going to work. That 1% of the time, that's what the probate court is there
I have
for.
a client I've just met with yesterday, and I'm doing their estate plan. And it's a sizable estate, but the husband is in his assisted living. It sounds like he's got a neurosis issue, but I think he still has legal capacity, and it's really not a big issue because of the way things are funded anyway. But we want to amend and revise his trust because one of the children died and so forth. And the spouse is telling me he's going to fight you.
He won't do it, Ken.
He's going to worry first about how much you're going to charge me, what's it going to cost, and everything else. I said to her, listen, I said, I think what we're going to need is for me to come with you to the facility, Don't make them come here.
That's
we'll
true.
sit and we'll have a nice, calm discussion. And then you have to gain their confidence,
Right.
is what it comes down to,
Right.
which is really what we do all the time. But when somebody is in that dementia state where they're moving into a more paranoid level, you have to take the extra effort
Take some time.
to be calm, move
Right.
them through it slowly, and gain their
Because
confidence.
at the end of the day, what are you trying to do? You're trying to
help
help them
Yeah.
and make sure that what they earned and worked so hard for goes the way they wanted it to go.
So here's the phrases. Dad, we want to protect your money. You don't want the government to take it, do you?
No,
Yeah, that's a key on that.
And
I'll be Dad.
And do you trust your daughter to help you? Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah. Right.
not all the time.
But-
not all the time, Pat.
Okay, she's sitting right there.
No,
Tell her.
I'm not referring to my daughters, for the record.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That alone gets it through. That little bit. If you put it in the right perspective and if you walk in and like that, it's not going to happen. So again, you want to start early in the planning. The earlier in the plan, the better plan that you can implement.
Makes sense. So effectively, when you get that first diagnosis of early onset dementia
Now
or,
is a good time.
or Alzheimer's, what needs to be done is most parents will tell their children what's going on. At that point, the children need to then turn around and actively participate in trying to fix
I'm going
that.
to challenge on that. Most parents protect each other. The husbands and the wives don't tell the kids what's going on. Dad's fine. Oh, he's just forgetful. Oh, he just fell once. Oh, he just
They don't
walked
like
out. Because they're
show their
so
laundry, so to
deathly
speak.
afraid of
Yeah.
what might happen. So you, as the parent, as the kids, you have to look for those signs.
You have to be clever in the way you go about that.
When
just the same way.
Thanksgiving comes up, you start seeing Dad being forgetful and saying weird things, or Mom's not taking showers, or they're walking out the front door. Once you start seeing those signs, the kids have to have the family meeting. You got to have the family meeting.
You got to get control in that situation. All right, so let's go back to DDT. Let's go to debt issues. Okay, I want to throw three things out there: credit card debt, medical bills, and mortgages on properties. Okay, Dad's passed away. Okay, Mom survives. Dad's credit card's $75,000, Mom's $25,000, joint credit cards $15,000.
Great.
Who has to pay?
Well,
Here's what happens.
Mom has to pay. Mom has to pay Mom's credit cards. Mom has to pay joint credit cards. How the joint credit cards get paid is going to be the interesting question, because...
What about Dad's credit cards?
Well, Dad's dead. Why does he have
So
to pay the
doesn't
bill?
Dad have to pay them?
Absolutely not. Dad's estate.
You don't have to pay them once you're dead?
Dad's estate is liable for Dad's bills.
All right, let me give you quick facts. Dad died, no money. All assets were in Mom's trust. Mom also got $300,000 of life insurance. We're going to take a break, then tell me what to do from that perspective.
Okay.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That was Jerry. Emma just said her first word.
Oh.
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
Who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
Time for announcements. I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m. and Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m. and on KISS 105.9 Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. Be sure and sign up for our monthly contest. Free $100 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. We have a seminar coming up Wednesday, September 11th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. The debt must fall. September is the time, so it's time for debt to fall. Talk about all the methods and processes we use to eliminate debt. Solutions outside of bankruptcy, solutions using bankruptcy. The key, get rid of the debt so you start taking that available disposable income and you have some available for saving for the future. We have a special segment. Scott Weinberg's going to present on how to address traffic issues and also what do you do if you get stopped. Critically important information. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at thavgross.com or lawandreality.com or call 888-235-HELP. Want to remind everybody you can always come into THAV Gross or Law and Reality for a free consultation. Just call 888-235-HELP or go on the website lawandreality.com, thavgross.com, and you can sign up, check the box that you want a consultation for. We'll call you back and schedule it. You got debt issues and estate planning issues with Brian, tax and business issues with myself and Jeff Kirshner, elder law issues with Pat Samasco, criminal law issues with Scott Weinberg, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Just go to the site, request the consult, or call the office. We're always happy to have you in. And when we do consults, they're not like meet and greets. We sit, we analyze the problem, we figure out the solution, we tell you what steps you need to take so that you have the plan to go forward and make the right decisions. Check out the websites as well. We have 4 free reports. Brand new one, Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solution, written by yours truly, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan, and The Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Samasco Law, Michigan Criminal Lawyers PLC, and Jeff Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so that's the situation. Dad died, he's got no money, all the assets in Mom's trust, $300,000 goes to Mom, life insurance proceeds. You've got $75,000 of credit card debt. What do we do with it?
We don't pay it. There's no reason.
Mom wants to pay it. She's got $300,000.
You gotta stop Mom.
Mom is sitting there saying, Dad used the money. In fact, we used the money on that card for Dad's care, for his care.
That's the only money that Mom has. It is imperative that Mom does not write that check.
So this came up actually this week. Same thing, it went perfect. The credit card company never went after Mom, but then the credit card company sent Dad a 1099 because they wiped out the debt.
So he's got income.
So what do you do on the tax return?
So you've got 2 choices on the tax return. One, they can still file married filing jointly on the tax return, and that 1099-C, the cancellation of indebtedness income, will become a taxable event.
Joint.
Which you don't want to happen.
Right.
And if it reduces a refund, it still might be beneficial to do it that way. On the other hand, Mom can file married filing separately, and she files a final tax return for Dad, and Dad doesn't have any assets.
So here's the question
then.
If they filed married filing jointly, can they amend to married filing separately?
No. If you file married filing separate, you can amend to file married filing jointly.
Okay,
you
so
can only
that's
go one way.
because it takes a long time for the credit card company to send that 1099.
There is a but that goes with that,
Okay.
or a nuance. Suppose Mom made the mistake and she filed married filing joint. Okay, so now she's liable for the taxes. And suppose it wasn't the credit card debt. Suppose Dad withdrew $150,000 from his IRA in the last year of his life to pay for his 24/7 care. Now it's a $50,000 tax bill.
It's an IRS debt.
Mom has become liable on it. Okay.
If it's filed married jointly.
Yes, which was a mistake. She should have filed married filing separate. She'd have no liability. In that case, Mom comes to me and we file an innocent spouse claim, claiming that it was not her income because it was his IRA and she should not be liable for the debt. There's a procedure there where in most circumstances we can get Mom off the hook for the debt. But you can't flip it around and say amend a return to go back to marrying filing separate. They don't allow you to do
the
that.
IRS at that point stands just like any other unsecured creditor? There's no
As to
estate
Dad,
opening?
yeah. As to Dad.
So
yeah,
that-
and there's nothing in his estate.
So that's a planning technique.
If there's something in his estate, then it can become a problem.
What about using a credit card to pay off that health care bill, the dad's credit card, and then he dies? Does that, I mean, is that a good use of using a credit card to pay off health care as opposed to using your IRA?
I answer the question this way. If you tell me you're going to charge something with no intention of ever paying it, you could be sued by the credit card company for fraud because you had no intention of paying it. But if you use the credit card for that, hoping that somehow or another there would be money there to pay it,
of course,
and you never even thought about not paying it, you just had to pay the bill, then I think it's a brilliant plan.
Dad's getting better. He's going to pay. He's always paid all of
He
his
might win
debt.
the lottery.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's always been a numbers guy.
I'm just writing this down for my mother-in-law because I got some.
When
stuff
you
going
get
on.
into that last year of life, and if you haven't done Medicaid planning with Pat, and you're paying for private care, it sucks every single asset a husband and wife has, and one of them's going to survive and has to have some money to live on. So you have to do what you have to do to survive.
Well, we talked
and
about
if you have available credit card debt on Dad's card and it's for Dad's care, make your own choices.
But most important thing here is
we'd rather
that
use that than put it on Mom's credit card.
Mom should not take the $300,000 that she inherited into life insurance and pay Dad's credit card.
And you have to sit with Mom, just like we talked about, and be compassionate and consoling and convince her that it's the thing to do. Because she will want to pay the bill.
She is
and
going
so
to
will
have to
Dad.
pay.
It's not just a woman thing.
She is going to have to pay the joint credit card debt.
Right.
Or her own credit
or
card
the
debt.
secured debt, the house mortgage and the car, anything.
Right, if she wants to keep the house.
Bottom line
Suppose
for
he
that
has
is they need to-
$30,000 left in Dad's estate. Take the 30, pay his funeral, take the other 15, pay off Mom's credit card, the joint credit cards, then there's nothing left to pay Dad on the for the 75. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality. Thanks for tuning in.